fucking thing, man. Alright, so I just bit the bullet. I ordered some tires. So I got the same ones again. I really like these tires, the 615s. They're really good street tires. They're decent in the rain. They're not the best in the rain, but any kind of performance tire is not going to be greatest in the rain. But dry traction is good for the price. I think they're like $200 each, which is decent for a performance tire or a summer tire. It's 200 tread wear, but I got decent mileage out of it. You just got to get a good alignment. You get a good alignment, and I don't know how many miles I have on here, but I have definitely more than tires I've had in the past. I had the Nittos on here before, or a couple times before this. The Nittos were decent, I guess, but they were noisy, and they didn't really have that much good like traction, like forward traction. It had good like lateral grip, but I'm not pushing the car like that, man. You know what I mean? I need grip going in a straight line, so these do pretty good. What are they? Falcon Zenni's 615s, I think. Yeah, I run a 265, 35, 18. That's how it looks. I did have to modify my rear quarters, and I had to modify the front fenders too. I just did like a slight, what's it called? Well, I gotta roll the fenders all the way. I just did a little bit, and I rolled the tab over here. Damn, something just broke. But I just broke something back there. I just felt it. But yeah, that little tab right here, you have to bend that back, and this shit over here, I had to like cut some of the little shit, man. The fender liner, man. Just typical lower car stuff. Like, I don't even know what that is, man. It's like a nail and it has like a fucking plastic thing on it. But I had it like 3 days ago, and it still got air in there, so I'm leaving it like that. I'm gonna try to drive to the tire shop like that. But yeah, so those are my tire specs. The wheels are, okay, I got this, I'm gonna remember. It's 18 by 9.5 plus 36. Yeah, so it gives, if you get it, I think I run a negative 1.5 on all four corners camber. But it is slightly sunk, but you kind of have to with these, unless you do a massive fucking roll. Like I said, I only rolled it a little bit, but if I rolled it all the way, it would still hit this over here. So some people do something here. Sometimes they delete this and just have like a thing, and then because that's what it hits right here. It hits all this shit before it hits any of this. But I mean, that's fine, man. I guess I would like to, or I can run the over fender. I'm some kind of wide body fender in the front. I would like it to get a little bit better fitment in the front, but hold on, let me get a better shot. That's fucking, it looks dumb as shit in this video. But there you go. So we got this right here. But I mean, it's not bad, man. You know what I mean? It doesn't rub, it rubs on full compression, but it just barely. It hits this shit over here, so I'm not really concerned about that, but it doesn't hit anything here. The rears. Try to get you some good lighting. Let's go on the other side. This side's better. A little bit better. The rears look good though. Rears is just, can't even get a finger in there. It doesn't rub at all. That looks good. You got a decent amount of poke. Can you see it? Let me see. Stupid, whatever. Y'all get the point. There we go. So it pokes a little bit of tire, but it doesn't rub at all. So full compression, it tucks right up in there. It goes negative, it goes up in there. So negative 1.5 degrees of camber on all four corners. And that's what it gets you. Okay, yeah, but I did have to, I cut the rear quarters. I cut it once, and then I had to cut it again because I didn't cut it enough. But you also had to cut this, there's like these little plastic clips behind there. You have to cut that because that's actually what it hits. Even when it tucks up in there, it won't hit this, but it hits those little plastic clips because they protrude out like inwards. So you just delete them. You don't need them anyways because they connect to the part that you cut off when you modify the quarters. So you just clean it all up underneath, behind, and then I cut it and I panel bonded it because it's actually two pieces, two sheets. Once you cut it, it exposes the two pieces. And then, what's it called? I panel bonded them together, and then I prepped it and painted it with Rust-Oleum so it doesn't rust over time. And I want to get a little rubber leading edge guard and put it in there, but it's pretty clean in there. I turn this damn light on, man. Whatever, y'all get the point, man. But that is it. Yeah, I got what's it called? It's on the BC coils. So the front has the front camber plates. With the rear, I did get the K-tuned rear camber arms. And I think that's all I have in the rear. But the front, I got the rear white line rear sway bar and end links. And the front is the BC coils, has the camber plates up top. But I have the, what else I have in here? Oh yeah, I had the K-tuned roll center correction ball joints. Yeah, roll center correction ball joints. My bad, I was fixing the zoom on the camera. And I got the white line anti-lift kit, which is the lower compliance bushings. Can't really see it in there, but and then I have the front sway bar. That's a bitch to install. A lot of people just go for the rear because the front you had to drop the subframe to get the sway bar in there. But I was doing the clutch, so I just put it all in there at the same time. Let's see, anti-lift kit, sway bars. I got the ball joints, the roll center correction ball joints, and what else do I have up here? I got the front strut bar, and I think that's it for suspension mods. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah, I didn't do the spherical ball joints, spherical joints in the camber arms in the rear. I probably should have, but I just went rubber because I don't know, I was on like a street car kick at the time, but I mean, it rides fine now. But I did have an issue with the locking nut backing off, and it would loosen up and I would get playing the wheel. So make sure you lock tight that joint. And that's it for suspension. So there's my setup. If I'm missing anything, I'll add it to the video. Forgot the spring rates, and I got you guys a light. So I'm running the BC coils, but I have the Swift spring upgrades. I'm running 12K springs in the front and 10K in the rear. So when I first installed them, I had them on full stiff, and they were stiff. They were definitely adequately stiff. But right now I run it like 4 or 5 clicks from hard, both front and rear. But I do like to run it a little stiffer in the rear, just so you can try to get some rotation out of it when you're really pushing the car. But you don't really see the benefit from that until you really push the car. I just like the way it feels like when you're riding on the highway really fast and you hit bumps. I just like the rear to be nice and settled, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it to be all bouncy and feel like you're gonna lose control, and like the front tires are like, they're already fighting for grip, you know what I mean? I need the rear to be able to handle itself, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But as far as suspension mods, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. My alignment, I have a sheet upstairs with alignment specs, but for real, everything's just within spec except for I think the camber I do -1.5 on all 4, but I think the spec is like has to be, I think it stops at like -1.3 or something like that. I don't know, I might be wrong. But I know I got 1.5 on all 4 because I had to do it to tuck the rear in good, and I wanted it to match. I didn't want it to look different from front and rear, if that makes sense. But I think that's it. Let me see if I can see anything in there. I definitely can't. Let's see. But I think the Swift spring upgrades is definitely a must. This fucking thing, man. Yeah, I definitely highly recommend the Swift spring upgrades, because from my understanding, they use a different blend of metals that allows you to run a stiffer spring rate and not get a lot of the disadvantages of having like a super stiff ride. And like, obviously the ride's going to be stiffer if you're running a super stiff spring rate, but the Swiss springs are a little bit better than like the standard spring. So yeah, I think with the upgrade it was like 1,400 something like that, which is decent, man. So yeah, I was gonna go with the HKS, but with the Swiss springs, it came out to like almost $3,000, man. And like, I've had coilovers before in the past, and you end up rebuilding them anyways, and the BCs are rebuildable. It's like an easy process, so I don't know, it's kind of a no-brainer. But I'm satisfied with them, man. You know what I mean? They're not, you know, JRZs or anything, but they are definitely sufficient. They do the job, and they do them well too. So there you go.